Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing on this Friday afternoon? Friday morning, should I say, July 31st. It is the last day of July. July is pretty much over. But how's everybody doing on this Friday? How are you all feeling? How are you all doing? Happy Friday. You made it through another week. You're making it through another week. It's the weekend. The weekend is almost here. But how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Make sure you all hit the like button, hit that subscribe. If you're new, share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. So in case you didn't see my post, I will not be live for any of the games this weekend, but I will be live doing pre-games like this. And I haven't done pre-games in a while, just pre-games by themselves. I have not done it in a while. This year I decided, I'm going to do the pre-game and play-by-play together. Which makes for a longer live stream, but that's okay. But it's the first time in a while where I'm doing just a pregame only live stream. If you all remember, and if you've been with me long enough and you've been with me from the beginning, I used to do pregames and play-by-play separate. I used to do separate live streams, but now I combined it too. But this is going to be one of those rare moments, rare live streams where I do pre-games by themselves on their own. So, it doesn't hurt, right? I mean, it sucks that I'm not going to be able to go live for the games, for the play-by-play, but I at least wanted to just go live for the pre-games just to talk about the upcoming series. But how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? If once again, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are just a little over 30 subscribers away from the strike zone hitting 3,000 subscribers. So if you are new and you are watching, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to that 3,000 mark. Well, let me say what's up to the chat real quick. We got Cecilia, first person in the building, joining us from LA. How are you? We got Bucks in the building. What up, Bucks? How's it going? Joseph is in the building. Katie's in the building. Egyptian is in the building. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So that series, man, against the White Sox, unfortunately, that one hurt, especially the last two games. The last two games, though, the Yankees went into extra innings and lost both of those games, unfortunately. They had to settle for a series split. They could have easily won 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 was in the Yankees' hands, but they had to settle for a split against the White Sox. But back-to-back heartbreakers. Yeah, you're right, Egyptian. Back-to-back games where, especially that third game of the series, the first game of the two, where they went to extra innings, where the Yankees lost in the 12th, man. They had that game was in their hands. The first extra inning game was in their hands. There was absolutely no reason for them to lose that game. That they were 1 out away, right? But of course, that bad throw from Ali Sanchez, and then yesterday was just. Yankees offense was missing. We know the Yankees offense has not been great since the All-Star break. They've been playing they've been in the bottom when you compare them to other teams' offenses, no doubt. Yesterday's game, again, the offense was bad for the Yankees. The White Sox offense was not that great either. I mean, pitching on both sides was great, phenomenal, right? Ryan Weathers actually had a pretty decent start, right? He was able to go 7 innings. He hung in there with Sean Burke. Sean Burke was doing work against the Yankees offense. The Yankees offense had zero answer for Sean Burke. The Yankees had opportunities to to score and but could not capitalize. So, that's been the problem with the Yankees offense lately. It's just having runners in scoring position. Yes, I know it doesn't, I'm not trying to use the excuse, but it is an excuse. It doesn't help that guys like Judge, Stanton, and Bellinger are hurt. Your 3 biggest bats in the lineup, 3 of your biggest bats in the lineup that are missing. And it's clear that without these three guys, the Yankees offense outside of Ben Rice has not been playing well. So with the trade deadline right around the corner, and the trade deadline being a few days away, the Yankees got work to do, man. The Yankees got some work to do. What bats are they looking at? I know there's been a lot of names being mentioned, but what you got to wonder, what names are they aiming for? What names are they targeting? That's what I want to know. Because the Yankees need to get two bats for sure. Two bats, maybe three, right? But I feel like the players that they want and that they need, I feel like it's pretty thin out there, right? So they're gonna have to get aggressive. They're gonna have to get aggressive. If it's an all-in deadline, they got to make everybody available except of course George Lombard. We know he's not going nowhere. So I still say the Yankees, and I know a lot of people may disagree with this. I know a lot of people are strictly focused on the offense instead of the pitching. Yes, I know the Yankees pitching has been phenomenal. Right, the Yankees pitching has been on a roll. They're number one overall when it comes to ERA, but I still say they need to get a couple of arms for the bullpen. Maybe some folks will disagree with me on that, but it could help. Right, the bullpen's good now, but it could also be a lot better. Right? Yeah. I know they're number one in ERA in baseball. They have one of the best pitching staff around Major League Baseball. Yes, but there's a couple of guys in the bullpen that need to be replaced, and I think you need to get a couple of arms to bring into that bullpen. And the Yankees also have in-house options too. So the Yankees could very well get one arm for all we know, but it wouldn't hurt for them to get two. But let me say what's up to a couple of other people in the chat. I saw y'all come in. Theo is in the chat. Official is in the chat. Bryce, what is going on? Why does it feel like the Yankees got swept by the White Sox? It's just because of the heartbreaking losses, I would say. Honest with ourselves, do we really think this team can compete for a World Series with all the mistakes? They're gonna compete. The Yankees are always gonna compete. They're always going to compete, even if every baseball team is going to compete. Even though we know for sure they're not going to make it to the World Series, so they're still gonna try. They're still going to try at the end of the day. They're not going to just give up. And I see Hector is in the building. Yeah, and once again, I just want to let everybody know I'm not going live for the game today. I'm just doing the pregame portion of the live stream. And if you all remember, I used to do pregame live streams all the time, but this season I combined the two. So what's up, Hector? Hector's in the building too. But let's see what the Yankees, at least, in this series, they're not having to travel far. They're traveling up north to north side of Chicago to play against the Cubs, playing in Wrigley Field. So we'll see what that series is going to look like. The Yankees are going to have their hands full when it comes to the bats. The offense for the White Sox or for the Chicago Cubs, man, solid is all I can really say. Offensively, they're better than the Yankees, right? Offensively, they're better than the Yankees. I'm just trying to pull up the stats real quick. So let me see where the stats are. What's up, Jay Witt? What's going on? Appreciate everybody being here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. So offensively, when it comes to batting average, right now the Cubs are ranked 10th when it comes to batting average, right? When it comes to on-base percentage, the Cubs are ranked second, so they're right behind the Dodgers. So they're ranked second. In slugging, they are ranked sixth when it comes to slugging. So they're still in the top 10. And OPS, they're ranked fourth. All right. So, the Yankees offense, when it comes to these statistics, are nowhere close, right? So the Yankees offense is definitely, you know, for lack of a better word, not great, right? So when it comes to batting average, the Yankees are ranked 27th, and so they're almost at the bottom when it comes to, of the league when it comes to batting average. On base percentage, they're 22nd. Slugging, they are 8th, and then OPS, they are 12th. So in some of these categories, like on base percentage, slugging, OPS, they've dropped this season offensively, right? I mean, again, with the injuries and whatnot, and some of the players that are not performing the way we had hoped, right? I mean, we know the names, right? Trent Grisham, Austin Wells, these guys have not been performing. Jazz has his moments, but he's too inconsistent. 1 week he does really well at the plate. The next week, he looks like he forgot how to play the game. Right, so there definitely needs to be a little bit more consistency. Grisham is definitely hurting the most. I would say his numbers over the last 15 games have just been bad. I mean, yeah, he got a couple of hits yesterday. He had that RBI yesterday. I mean, it's a good feeling. However, it's still not enough. We still need to see more of that consistency with Grisham. I mean, prior to Grisham getting hurt, when he got hurt with that hamstring injury, the fact of the matter is he was actually playing very well up until that injury, and that injury just kind of just derailed everything. Listen, Yankees right now, right, despite the injuries that they've been enduring, right, they've had guys missing throughout the season, right. To start the season, Cole didn't start the season on time, obviously, because he was coming back from Tommy John. Max Fried was hurt at one point, right? Carlos Rodon is still not back yet. He's gonna come back at some point. Cody Bellinger's, he's hurt right now. Judge is hurt. Stanton's hurt, right? Despite all these injuries that they have been experiencing, they're 3.5 games behind the Rays when it comes to the AL East, and it is 3.5 games. I know, yeah, they're trailing the Rays right now, and it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. They could be 6 or 7 games behind, considering all the injuries that they had, considering some of the teams that they've had to play. Overall, the Yankees had a better July than what many of us expected, and that's all fine and dandy, right? But the Yankees still gotta win as many games as possible, right? I mean, that's clear as day, right? I'm stating the obvious here, because with the AL East right now, the Rays again playing some really good baseball, and the Red Sox are catching up. The Red Sox are 100%. They're catching up. I don't ever count the Red Sox out. When it comes to the AL East, you don't underestimate any team in the AL East. And the Red Sox right now, they are in second place in the AL East in the wild card. So, they're not trailing. They're not too far behind the Yankees. The Guardians are right there. They're holding the final wild card spot at this very moment. But there's a lot of teams right now that are really close, and we know how it goes down in August and September. There's always that one team that catches fire, and they sneak their way into the postseason. They sneak their way into getting that final wild card spot. So you never know how this stuff plays out. So Yankees gotta watch it, man. Yankees gotta watch it, and hopefully the Yankees can, win, can get some quality players at the deadline, and to help improve this team until guys like Judge, Stanton, and Bellinger come back. Until these 3 guys come back, and the Yankees could get some solid bats to help out this offense. because the offense definitely, once again, it needs work. So, we'll see what transpires. Hopefully, it's not, the Yankees don't get some kind of like no name at the deadline. I'm talking good quality bats, right? Bats that are gonna help this team succeed offensively. All right. And what's up, Beagle? I saw you pop in. What's going on? So, yeah, the Red Sox are, are sneaky. They're coming, they're definitely trying to, take over first place in the wild card. They're not far behind the Yankees, so the Yankees better watch out. And like I said, the Red Sox are a team that you just don't count out. Now, to talk about the Chicago Cubs have a 62-47 record, so almost a similar record to the Yankees. Yankees are 61-48. The Cubs, just like the Yankees, hold first place in the wild card standings. Okay, on the National League side, the Cubs are trailing the Brewers right now. Brewers are just dominating the NL Central. The Brewers are a team you certainly got to watch out for. I mean, you saw what they did against the Yankees earlier this season, and they're still trying to improve their team. What's up, Scotto? What's up, Dev? Thank you guys for popping in. So, the Cubs, again, second place in the NL Central, first place in the NL Wild Card. And I was talking about their offense. Now, when it comes to their pitching, the pitching is an area that they need help in. So, as I was talking about the Yankees pitching, the Yankees are number one in ERA, okay, with 3.36. Overall team ERA, 3.36. You look at the Chicago Cubs, they're 14th in the league with 4.15. So, the Yankees have that advantage over the Cubs when it comes to the pitching. But the question is, can the Yankees pitching hold off the Cubs bats, right? That's going to be the question. I always say, good pitching will always beat a good offense, right? It's just a fact. Because I know I know offense is an important part of the game. I'm always gonna. It's true, yes, but I'm always gonna be an advocate for you need good pitching to beat a good offense. Because come playoff time, you want to know something. The run not many runs get scored on average, right? Not many runs get scored because of good pitching. So that's what's gonna win you games in the playoffs. Right, that's what's going to win you. What's going to win you the championship at the end of the day, the World Series. All right. So the Yankees, they do have that advantage over the Cubs when it comes to pitching. So the Yankees pitching, if it's true on paper, they should be able to do a good job against the Cubs offense. But the Cubs offense, there's no slouch, right? We know who they have in that lineup. Pete Crow Armstrong, guys like that. And the Yankees bats are going to go up against the lefty Shota Imanaga. And Imanaga, not bad. He's not a bad pitcher. Right, he's actually pretty decent. Well, I'll look at his game logs and see how he's done in his last. We'll call it 3 starts, and we'll take a look at Will Warren too. Will Warren's going to be pitching today for the Yankees. And shout out to Jacob Petruzzi. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. You are the man. He says, my brother listening while driving. Cool. Just listen and drive. Don't text and drive, please. Just focus on the road. If you're listening to me while you're driving and you're on the road, focus on the road, man. I don't want anybody getting into any accidents. I don't want anybody getting hurt. So today's matchup, like I said, it's Will Warren versus Shota Imanaga. So it's going to be a righty versus lefty matchup. Imanaga, looking at his last three starts. So his last start was against the Pirates 6 days ago. Actually got the win in that game. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 4, only walked the batter. Didn't give up any runs, so he did his part. Then the game before that was against the Minnesota Twins. Once again, got the win. Gave up 6 hits in 7 innings, didn't give up any runs, and had a walk and struck out 4. And the game before that was against the Cincinnati Reds. He got the loss in that one. He went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 1 run, walked the batter, struck out 5. So last 3 starts, not bad, right? Not bad, especially the last 2. So he's able to go, 5 and 7 innings. He only gave up 1 run out of those 3 starts, and got a couple of wins out of those 3 starts. Looks like the game against Cincinnati is just looks like the offense just couldn't come through for him, right? Even though he gave up 7 hits, only gave up the 1 run. That's still a pretty decent outing, right? And as I'm looking at his other games, he's been able to go between 5 and 7 innings. So, it's like, 5 and 7 innings is the norm for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if in this game he's able to go, I'll say 6 or 7 innings for Imanaga. I could see it, especially with the way the Yankees offense has been. I could see him going 6 innings, 7 at the most. And shout out to Rodney for the gifted membership. It looks like John the Beagle Dad is the recipient of that gifted membership. Thank you so much there, Rodney. You are the man. Gifted membership from Rodney. Thank you so much, bro. You're the man, dude. An original cheapskate. Oh, I was waiting for the comment. And he came through with the comment. Oh, Rodney's just calling. He loves calling people out, man. He loves calling people out. That's funny. So I'd say that the Yankees are probably going to have their hands full with Imanaga in today's game. Yeah, this was a guy that I actually wanted the Yankees to acquire when he was a free agent, a few years ago, right? This was the same year where him and Yamamoto were both free agents. I wanted one of those guys, right? I especially wanted Yamamoto, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, he had his heart set on the Dodgers, right? Even though, yes, the Yankees tried signing him, but I think his heart was set on the Dodgers. He just wanted to get the highest offer, man. He just wanted to play that bidding war game. But anyway, but I wanted them to go after Imanaga. I think he would have been solid, but it's what's done is done, right? So Imanaga overall 7-8 record, 3.72 ERA. He's pitched 121 innings. He's got a WHIP of 1.10, 113 strikeouts. So, the record, I won't focus too hard on the record, right? But I think he's still pretty solid, and I think he might hold. I think the Yankees bats, are gonna have their hands full with him. So, we'll see how those things. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see how it turns out. And Ronnie says he's going to see Spider-Man at noon. Nice, man. I need to go check that movie out. All right, now when it comes to Will Warren, all right, on the other side, Will Warren, he has been struggling as of late. Right now, Will Warren has, beginning of the season, he was killing it, right? He was killing it. And right now he's 7-5 record, 4.41 ERA. His WHIP is at 1.41, 102 strikeouts. He's pitched 102 innings. And you haven't really been able to get a whole lot of production from him. That Phillies game on Sunday wasn't what we had hoped for. I just didn't have I don't want to say I didn't have a good feeling, but I was wondering how he was going to do. against the Phillies offense. He went 3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, struck out 5, walked a couple of batters. So that was not a great outing for him. And then he got the loss in that one. And then the game against the Nationals, 5 innings, couple of strikeouts, couple of walks, only gave up the 1 run. I think that was a game. That was a game the Yankees still ended up winning. He didn't get the win in that one, but still held his own. And then the game against Tampa, right, back on July 7th. So 0-1 record. He got the loss in that game. Went 4 innings, gave up 6 runs, struck out 3, walked a couple. And he's had some good starts this season, but his last few have not been great. And he's a guy that could, potentially go 6 innings, but it looks like most games that he pitches, the most he goes is about 5 2/3. So, kind of what I'm expecting for Will Warren. I think he goes 5 2/3 innings. At the most, I'd say he goes 6. I think he goes 6, but I think Imanaga, I'll say Imanaga goes 6 or 7 innings. Will Warren, I'll give him 5 2/3 with 5 2/3 to 6 innings. That's what I got for Will Warren. But Warren's gonna have his hands full again. Now he's facing another good offensive team in the Cubs. Cubs have a great lineup. They got great offensive stats, and we'll see how Warren does, man. Maybe he could surprise us, right? Maybe he could surprise us. Kind of like when Weathers pitched last week, for example, right? When he pitched against the Phillies, there wasn't really a whole lot of hope for Weathers, but Weathers held his own against the Phillies. Weathers held his own in yesterday's game too, right? And what's the sad part about Weathers, right? Just to go back to Weathers real quick. The sad thing about Weathers is he has had some great outings, but he's had no run support, which annoys the hell out of me, man. So, well, let's see, what happens in this series. The Yankees will again they're going to have their hands full. We'll see if the games get played, right? I know Chicago is expecting some rain. And tomorrow, I looked at Chicago's weather. Tomorrow, it looks like I wouldn't be surprised if that game gets postponed tomorrow, and they have to play a doubleheader. Just because the game, they're showing weather-wise, they're showing rain all day tomorrow. So I wouldn't be surprised if it gets postponed. Maybe in today's game there might be a little bit of a delay. We'll see what goes down. But let's get into the lineup. I've been live for almost 30 minutes, so I appreciate everybody rocking out with me on this Friday morning. Make sure you all hit the like button, hit that subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. Let's get to that 3,000 subscriber count. We're a little over 30 subscribers away from hitting 3,000. So let's get to that 3,000, man. Help your boy out here, right? Let's make it happen. So, what's up, Lou? Just like he said, hit the like and sub. Cecilia says, "Let's hope no Volpe." Well, I'm about to break your heart. I'm sorry. So let's talk about this lineup. Let me pull up the lineup real quick. So, lineup is going to look, different, especially with Imanaga, the lefty, on the mound. So, for the Cubs. But here's your lineup right here, folks. We got Paul Goldschmidt playing first base, leading things off. Ben Rice is batting second. He'll be DHing in today's game. Ahmed Rosario will be batting third, playing third base. Jason Dominguez batting cleanup, playing right field. Trent Grisham batting fifth, playing center field. Anthony Volpe is in the lineup, batting sixth, playing shortstop. Spencer Jones is batting seventh, playing left field. Ali Sanchez is batting eighth. He'll be at the dish. Jose Caballero will be batting ninth, playing second base. And on the mound, it is Will Warren. Folks in the chat, let me know what you think about this lineup. How do you feel about this lineup? Would you change anything about this lineup? Listen, there's no Ryan McMahon. There's no Austin Wells. You have to go heavy righty with this lineup. Goldschmidt, we know he hits lefties well. Rosario, we historically hits lefties really well, but he's been struggling mightily as of late. Caballero, Volpe, they're about equal. You know what I mean? Volpe gives me a little bit more frustration, but Caballero hasn't been that much better either. Let's be honest. Guys like Dominguez and Jones. Dominguez has his moments. Spencer Jones, I mean, he's got the potential. He doesn't, I'm glad that he's in the lineup instead of a guy like Max Schumann. I have no problems with this. And Grisham batting, fifth. Look, I know we've had this conversation before about Trent Grisham. Why is this guy batting leadoff? There's not a guy on the team right now that could bat leadoff at the moment. I mean, if it was up to me, I would have put Caballero, but even though Caballero hasn't been that great either, so I don't know who you put at the leadoff spot, but Grisham isn't it. I think Grisham does better at when you bat him lower in the lineup. I'm sorry, Cecilia, I wasn't trying to do that, but Volpe's in the lineup. I don't know what you want me to do. It's not my team. It's not my decision. I don't make the lineups. I just report the lineups. That's all I do. And Jason from 161 River Ave. What's up, bro? What's going on, Jason? How's life, man? How you doing? Thanks for popping in. Shout out to my guy, Jason. Jason does a really, really good job on his channel. Always not afraid to speak his mind. Right. For those of you that don't know Jason, he's definitely not afraid to speak his mind. He says what's on his mind and says it like it is. Does not do talking points. And he's willing to debate with anybody, man. So that's the thing with Jason, bro. So yeah, Jason's the man. Jason's the man for sure. So yeah, Jason's one of those guys like other content creators that inspired me, motivated me to start this channel. And get things going, and I'm glad I'm doing it. So, and Jason says, I just follow your lead, bro. Nah. You ain't following my lead. I'm following your lead, bro. I'm following your lead. Jason's also my bodyguard, in case anybody was, just in case anybody was wondering. Jason's my bodyguard. So when I need protection, Jason's my guy. All love, man. Cecilia's saying I'm calling 2 home runs from Rosario forever. The optimist. Let's go Yankees. Okay. Nice. Good stuff. But that's your lineup right there, folks. Let me take the lineup out of the screen. And if anybody wants to see the lineup again, just let me know. I could pull it back up. It's not a problem. But let's get into these predictions. Let's talk a little. It's prediction time, people. Let's talk a little predictions. And let's be realistic. Of course, I always ask for people to be realistic with their predictions. But if you want to throw some wild predictions out there, I welcome it. All right, I welcome it. But what do we got for Will Warren? Let's talk a little Will Warren, folks. What does Will Warren do tonight, or today, should I say? What does he do this afternoon? What do we got for Will Warren? Let's see those predictions for Will Warren. Let's talk about Will Warren. Theo says we are getting destroyed. Cubs are too good. They said that about the Phillies last week, and they got 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. I'm just saying, dude. And Aaron Boone beat Don Mattingly. I'm just going to throw that out there, too. No disrespect to Donnie Baseball. I love Don Mattingly. One of my favorite Yankees. All right? One of my favorite Yankees, but Boone beat Mattingly. Just saying. Okay? And another thing I wanted to mention real quick, I know the Rays are playing some really good baseball, and I know a lot of Yankees fans out there are talking about the Rays being better than the Yankees. I mean, right now, yeah, they are better than the Yankees. I'm not denying that. And I know a lot of folks like to talk about Kevin Cash being better than being a better manager than Aaron Boone. Guess what? Kevin Cash has never won a World Series either, just like Aaron Boone. And you look at the overall winning percentage, Aaron Boone has a better winning percentage. Again, just throwing it out there. All right. So, you take that for what you will. But let's get into these predictions. All right. Jason's going 5 2/3, 7 hits, 6 strikeouts, gives up 3 runs. Okay. I could dig that. Theo thinks 5 innings for Will Warren. Cecilia is going 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, 3 runs. So, all right. So we got 5 2/3, 5 innings from a couple of people. What do I want to predict for Will Warren? What am I thinking for Will Warren? I mean, again, looking at his starts, like I said, it seems like the most he goes is 5 to 5 2/3. He might go, he could go 6, no problem. 7 on a rare occasion, but it seems like 6 innings is the most he goes. But I will give Will Warren 5 1/3. I'll give him 5 1/3. Against this offense of the Cubs. So I'll give him 5 1/3. I think he will. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I think he'll give up 3 earned runs. Strike out 6, and he'll have a couple of walks. That's what I'm going to have for Will Warren. Hector's going 5 2/3, couple of runs, 4 walks, or 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Lou is going 5 innings, 4 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. I could dig that. Any other predictions for Will Warren? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know what you all are thinking in the chat for Will Warren. If not, we'll just move on to the home run calls. We'll talk some home runs. But who do y'all got hitting a home run today? Who are you all predicting? Let me know your home run predictions. For me, I'm just gonna say mine. I'm gonna say Goldschmidt. I think Goldschmidt will hit a home run. Who else am I thinking? I'll say Goldschmidt, Rice, and I want to pick one more. Goldschmidt, Rice. I'll say Dominguez. And then my sleeper is going to be Cabby. Cabby's going to be my sleeper. Lou says Spencer Jones. Yeah, let's see the home run predictions. So, yeah, my home run predictions, like I said, I got Goldschmidt, Rice, Dominguez. My sleeper is going to be Caballero. Those are my predictions. What's everybody else's predictions? So like I said, Lou looks like he's got Spencer Jones. Any other predictions there, Lou, or is it just Spencer Jones? Who else we thinking? Goldschmidt, Rice. From Hector, he's got Cabby as a sleeper. Okay. Yeah, and I'll tell you what. Even though I'll say this, I know on the play-by-plays with the home run predictions, if I would lately on the live streams, I'm saying that anytime any of my predictions hit a home run, I gift a membership. So I know I won't be live for the games themselves this weekend, but I know I'll be live on Monday for the trade deadline. I'll tell you what, any player over with these predictions that I put out, any of the picks that I made, if any of these guys hit a home run, I will gift memberships on Monday on trade deadline day. So if any of them come through, if any of my picks come through over the course of the series, I will gift a membership on trade deadline day. I'll gift those memberships as long as my predictions hit a home run. Okay, and with the sleepers, it's 2 gifted memberships. So that's the little bonus with the gifted memberships. So Lewis is thinking Spencer Jones, a 2-run home run. We're not scoring much today. Fair enough. So yeah, like I said, I got Goldschmidt, Rice, Dominguez. Those are my predictions. Cabby is my sleeper. So since Lou is thinking not scoring much today, what do we got for score? What is today's score going to be? Let's talk score predictions. What is today's score going to be? What's everybody's score predictions for today's game? Let me know. What do we got for score predictions? Let's see those score predictions real quick. What do we got? And I'm just trying to see if there's any Yankee news. I'm not expecting any big news, but I'm just curious to see what stories have been put out. So, yeah, just kind of reading some tweets here. When it comes to Jazz Chisholm, Aaron Boone said that he's being, quote, cautious with Jazz Chisholm after the cramps and with the Cubs throwing the lefty, but he considers himself fully active and available today. So you could see Jazz Chisholm make an appearance as a pinch hitter. So, I mean, he was definitely hurt yesterday. He had those cramps. He was limping off the field. Didn't look good. 4-2 Yanks. I'm not confident in their offense to score runs. Yeah, 4-2. It could be. I'm gonna go ahead and predict 5-4. I'll predict a 5-4 game for the Yankees. If the pitching can hold the offense, I think if the pitching can do their job, hopefully the Yankees can. Hopefully the Yankees bats can do their job against the Cubs pitching, right? The Cubs are, that's where they're weak is their pitching. Luce says 5-3. So he's saying 5-3. Any other predictions when it comes to the score? Let's see some more score predictions, folks. What do we got? I'm just checking stuff in here. Yeah, I'm just looking up. So Imanaga did pitch against the Yankees last year. So check this out. He did get the win. He struck out 6, went 7 innings, got a couple of hits, only gave up the 1 run, and 1 walk. Yeah, I remember the Cubs did win 2 out of 3 against the Yankees last year. That was at Yankee Stadium. So I remember calling that game with Imanaga, and he pitched really well against the Yankees. So he went 7 innings in that one. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to go 7. But that's what we got. All right, let's talk a little ABS action. Let's talk a little ABS action. How many calls do we think get overturned by the ABS? Yesterday's game against the White Sox, there was only one. What do we got for? What are we predicting for today's game? How many calls get overturned by ABS? Let's see a few predictions here. I think we'll see 3 calls get overturned. I'll go with 3. Volpe should be barred from ABS permanently. There's been a few guys that have been bad with ABS on the Yankees. I mean, Jazz was pretty bad at one point, but he doesn't challenge as much as he used to. I don't mind the catchers challenging, right? You know, Wells does a pretty good, usually does a good job. So does Ali Sanchez. They do a good job of challenging pitches and getting those calls overturned. I remember at one point Jazz was challenging a bunch and he was piss poor, but Pixelmon says looks like the Twins are buying. Yeah, they just traded away a couple of their guys. One being Benny Agbayani's son, the former New York Met. For those that are familiar with Benny Agbayani, so they got AJ Minter, the lefty from the Mets. Minter is a rental, so yeah, the Twins are buying. I mean, I can't say I blame them. They're not far off a wild card spot, right? When it comes to the Minnesota Twins, they're one game behind the Guardians, right? So they're keeping it close with the Guardians. So the Twins could very well make a run. They're buying for sure. You doubt that Jeffers will be traded now? It's look. I mean, John Heyman did put out a tweet saying something along those lines that the chances of Jeffers getting traded is pretty thin. I think the number of I think the number of teams that are going to be selling. There's going to be some, but I think a lot of teams that are really close, they're gonna end up buying. They're gonna try and go for it. So I think this deadline, it's going to be a good deadline, but I think there's a lot of I think the players that are available are going to be pretty thin. Unless if the Yankees can somehow convince Jeffers, the Twins to trade Jeffers. I mean, at this point, I don't know that Jeffers is going to get traded. Cecilia's going with 2 ABS. So she's going with 2. I'm going to go with 3. Definitely going with 3. Cecilia says, my Dodgers are getting Skubal. Hot take. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But the Dodgers made it clear that if Skubal is a free agent, that if Skubal is a free agent, when Skubal does become a free agent, the Dodgers are going to make him a priority. Yeah, making the playoffs is huge revenue. It is. Yeah, it's huge revenue. Why? 100% it's huge revenue. Every team in baseball fights for it, right? More money for the organization. Hector says 3. Yeah, I think Skubal. I can't see any other team getting him besides the Dodgers at least for the trade deadline. They certainly have the pieces for him. The Rays could potentially get him. The Rays have they got a good farm too. But I think if Skubal really wants to win a World Series, I think he's going. Yeah, he's definitely going to the Dodgers. Should the Dodgers trade for him? But we know Casey Mize, he was supposed to start today for the Tigers. He got scratched So there's a possibility that he's going to get traded. Yeah, the Brewers also wanted Skubal. He could. I think what I ultimately think is that Skubal goes to the National League side. So whether it's the Dodgers, whether it's the Brewers, that would be a scary rotation there with Mizorowski and Skubal. Oh God, that would be a scary rotate. That would be a scary rotation right there. What's up, Shua? You like the pickup of Jake Rogers? It's a good pickup for the Orioles. Katie is coming through with 5 innings, 4 strikeouts for Warren. Homers from Goldschmidt, Rice, and Rosario. And she loves her 9-3 predictions. 9-3, 10-3. Those are her favorite predictions right there. Nice. All right. Last but not least, folks. What are we eating? What are we in the mood for? Have you all already eaten, or are you gonna have lunch now? What are we eating for food? What are we eating? What are we hungry for? Cecilia says 3-2 Yankees. Yeah, that would be a disgusting rotation. Does Jake Rogers mean that Adley Rutschman is gone? Possibility. I mean, that's gonna be my response. It's a possibility. I don't know what the game plan for the Orioles is for Adley Rutschman. No, I don't think the Yankees will collapse. I don't think so. Oh, you just had Wingstop? Nice, Lou. Can't go wrong with Wingstop. Evan says he's not eating yet. Fair enough. So Evan's not hungry. I've got a blind date at a nice spot at PCH. What's PCH? Nathaniel says Wingstop sucks. I suppose it depends on the location you go to, because the Wingstop that I go to, at least, they do a pretty decent job. But it depends on the location. Mac and cheese to go with your free therapy. I'm going to start charging you, Theo, for therapy now. Homemade beef, barley, and soup. Nice. Oh, and my boy referee is in the building with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, referee. You are the man. Another big supporter of the channel since day one. Thank you so much, referee. Says, let's go Yankees. They need all the help they can get in Chicago this weekend. Always a good 120 game in Chicago with the Cubs. I really want to go to Wrigley Field one day, man. I plan on going to Wrigley Field one day. Pacific Coast Highway, Cali Beach Girl. Okay. Pacific Coast Highway. Sounds amazing. But homemade beef and barley soup? Nice. I like that sounds pretty freaking good. Well, and referee says best hot dogs in all of MLB and one of the most expensive stadiums I've ever been to. I believe it with Wrigley Field, man. I know, I've heard that they're known for their hot dogs, for sure. I'm not a hot dog guy. I used to be. I used to eat hot dogs, but now I don't eat it. I don't eat hot dogs no more. It's just not something I do. Don't ask me why. I just don't get a craving for them no more. Anybody who offers me a hot dog, I'm just like, nah, I'm good. 2 hot dogs for $39? That's insane. Oh, God. Yeah, that's insane. Nathaniel says, I'm not upset that they split. That's the way they lost game 3 and how well Boston and the Rays have been playing. I mean, it shouldn't have been a split, though. Either way, Nathaniel. They should have won 3 out of 4, man. That third game of the series, that one they had in the bag, was right on their lap. Spaghetti with meatballs, nice. Referee says Chicago is my favorite city in the USA. It's absolutely beautiful and clean. It is clean. I love that town. I do love the city of Chicago. I went there about 9 years ago to go visit. My cousin and his wife stay out there, so I've always wanted to visit Chicago. And then when my cousin and his wife were out there, they still live there. I was like, all right, cool. Like now I'll go to Chicago, hang out with them. That is a beautiful city for sure. And when it comes to cleanliness, yeah, for a big city, it's clean, man. It's clean. That is a clean place. You only eat them one at a ballpark? Okay. All right, man. Yeah. Have a good day, referee. I just appreciate you popping in, though, man. Thank you so much there, ref. It's always great to see you. I know you're a busy man, but you always try to come in, pop in when you're available. So I always appreciate it. Ever since Chef Nick told us what's in hot dogs, I don't touch them. I guess you could say I've heard stories about hot dogs and how they're made and all this stuff, but again, I don't get a craving for them. I really don't. I don't even remember the last time I had a hot dog. What's up, Bill? I would have said that if they were 3 up in the 9th, they needed more than 4 with a short pen. Fair enough, Nathaniel. Cecilia says, being from Cali, I don't think I could handle the Chicago weather, probably only in May or June. I mean, summertime, I know it gets really humid and muggy. I went to Chicago in the month of September, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I wouldn't. I know the winters get pretty brutal out there. I'm guessing Blackburn, Chavy, and Bednar are the only guys available in the pen. Those guys are definitely available. Tim Hill is definitely available. Ryan Yarbrough is definitely available. Duvall, I mean, I'd rather not see him, but he's available. So Yankees got some guys that are available in the bullpen, and if needed. But that's what I'm saying. The Yankees need, they need to go after a couple of arms at the deadline. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You hope the Dodgers can knock off the Red Sox so the Orioles can get 3rd place. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to cheer for the Dodgers because to beat the Red Sox, because it'll help the Yankees out, but the Yankees have to win games. I try not to eat hot dogs, but when I do, Hebrew National Nathan's are my family's picks. Yeah, two really popular brands. I will say this about the swoons every year, minus 2022. It's been someone hurt that's caused it. Sadly. Injuries are part of the game, and, nothing you can really do about it, right? You have no control over the injuries. Sometimes they're freak injuries. Those freak injuries are some of those freak injuries are very unusual. Yeah, you could add Cody Bellinger to that list, Nathaniel, with the injuries. What's up, Jonathan? So I know Jonathan's going to come out to Colorado next month. I don't know what dates are coming out, but let me know the dates, dude. Maybe we'll go catch a Rockies game or something. Billow says NFE, don't be surprised if Philly moves JT and Harper, especially with Dombrowski rumored to be extended. Harper and JT hate him, and Harper always wanted to be a Yankee. I don't know. I mean, JT Real Muto. Yeah, let's look at his stats real quick. I mean, righty bat, he's batting .225, an OPS of 659, on-base percentage of 304. I mean, if you're looking at a lot of the comments that, from Yankees fans, I mean, when it comes to the OPS, that OPS ain't going to fly with a 659 OPS. I mean, there's already several players on the Yankees with less than a 700 OPS, but it couldn't hurt to have a righty bat in the lineup and some experience. But as far as Bryce Harper goes, I'm just strictly looking at his contract right now. I mean, he's got till 2031, so he's under contract for another another 5 years after this season, getting paid $25 million right now, $25 million per season. So he's under contract till the age of 38. I mean, do the Yankees want to take a contract like that? Unless the Phillies eat a lot of it, sure, I'll welcome it. Jonathan says August 28th. Okay, so you'll be in Estes Park on the 28th. That is a nice place. You're really going to enjoy Estes Park, man. Yeah, Billow says veteran presence could learn the 13-man pitching staff quickly. I mean, that's what I like, the veteran presence. I could appreciate the veteran presence, but when you're surrounded by a whole new pitching staff, though, I mean it's still gonna be an adjustment period, though, right? I mean, you're working with a whole different group of pitchers now. It's not the same pitchers that you've been working with, so I'm not so sure about quickly, but it'll take a little time, I think. Maybe if they eat $10 million over the last 5 years, so that means the Yankees would only. Sounds good, Jonathan. $10 million, so then the Yankees would only owe him $15 million. But here's the thing, though. I mean, I like Bryce Harper. Please understand that. I do like Bryce Harper. He also has a full no trade clause. There's also that. I'm sure he would waive his no trade clause for the Yankees. But another player that's getting a little older, right? You owe him $15 million. There's already so many complaints about from some fans about Giancarlo's contract, but the Marlins are eating some of that money, of course. And Giancarlo, he's under contract for 2027 and then 2028 as a club option. But I highly doubt the Yankees pick up his club option, assuming the Yankees don't move on from him. I know some fans out there wanted Giancarlo DFA'd, but they weren't going to DFA him with 3 or 4 years left on his contract, especially with how well he's been playing, how well he played in the postseason. The Yankees' best postseason player in those previous years. And Harper's numbers, I mean, look at his overall numbers. He's getting paid. He's hitting .252. That OPS is great, 848, on-base percentage of 357. Yeah, hates Dombrowski and wants out of Philly. I mean, assuming that the Yankees want to trade for him, though, right? Kind of wonder why the Yankees didn't sign him when he was a free agent. Yeah, no, I appreciate the thought. That's why, that's why I always entertain the thoughts. You know, it's not a bad thought. Yeah, well, there is the lockout for next. Well, there might be a lockout next year. I'm not going to be surprised if there is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was definitely. I mean, he was a little better in Washington. It's not the same. Yeah, I'm at this stage. I'm a little bit I'm a little bit on the fence when it comes to Bryce Harper at this stage. I mean, you might if you're going to go after Bryce Harper, if not Bryce Harper, you might as well go after Mike Trout. But I don't personally want Mike Trout. I think Mike Trout's an excellent baseball player, but injuries have ruined his career. Um, I don't see a world where the Yankees go after Bryce Harper at this point. I don't see it. If you get anyone for this team to become a World Series contender, who would you personally get, even if they aren't available? Who do you truly think they need? Luis Ariz would be perfect for the Yankees. He'd be one player I would want them to go after. Hunter Goodman. Realistically speaking, I would love for them to get Hunter Goodman. I know Hunter Goodman's defense is not that great. His framing is not that great, but his bat would play excellent, right? If you're willing to ignore his defense, but you can't ignore defense in baseball either. Yeah, Hunter Goodman, he does strike out a lot. He does, Nathaniel. But the thing is, though, his offensive numbers, he's got good numbers. I mean, way better than Austin Wells, way better than any of the catchers that the Yankees have currently. He does strike out a lot, but you know what? I mean, so does Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is a guy who strikes out a lot too, but Judge is an offensive. He's a beast at the plate, right? So, when it comes to Hunter Goodman, and you look at his stats, because again, right, we're talking about how bad the Yankees' offense has been. He's got 31 home runs, 60 RBIs, batting average right now sitting at 254, on base percentage of 326. He's got an OPS of 871. I mean, that would be a major improvement at the lineup, right? That would be an upgrade over what they have offensively at the catcher position. I didn't hate it. I don't want to say I didn't hate it. I liked the Bird move. I thought Bird would have helped out the bullpen, but unfortunately, his stuff just does not translate well on the mound. I think he just needs to stay in the minors for the rest of the season. No reason to call him back up. If the Yankees are able to trade him, I'd say trade him, but unfortunately, Jake Bird just didn't pan out the way I'd hoped. And the same thing with Duvall. Arias at second, Bobby Witt at shortstop, Tatis at third base. Well, you get Bobby Witt at shortstop, that's going to block Lombard. We all want. A lot of fans really want Lombard to get called up. I could see San Diego moving Tatis, Bogarts, Machado with Miller, but I would want Estrada and San Diego to eat $10 million of the last 5 years if we keep either on, and if they have to take Jazz, Volpe, or McMahon. The thing is, though, I don't really Tatis, Bogarts, Machado. I don't want Bogarts. I don't want Machado. I mean, out of those three, I probably would rather go Tatis. Now, when it comes to Mason Miller, honestly, even if the Yankees cannot get Mason Miller, I would rather them go after Estrada or Morjon or even Wandy Peralta. You know, but I would go Estrada or Morjon from the Padres. You know, if they can't get Mason Miller, they don't get Mason Miller. They could still get two really good quality arms, and Estrada or Morjon would definitely fit that bill. Pixelmon says I trade Bobby Witt or I trade Lombard to Casey for Bobby Witt. I mean, that's debatable. I don't know. The Yankees seem to have really high hopes when it comes to Lombard, and Lombard's been really playing well down there at the minors. One trade, you get two arms and a bat. I mean, I know the Padres want to unload some of those contracts. I mean, they have some very expensive contracts. No, Wandy, he doesn't get strikeouts, and he's only good versus lefties. I mean, Wandy would be my last choice. That's why I'm saying Morjon and Estrada. You know, Estrada does come with controllable years. Morjon would be a rental, but I'd still say he would be worth it. If Jazz goes down, I expect Lombard Jr. to get called up. If they call up Lombard Jr., it's probably going to be after August 15th because of his they don't want his service years to start at the major league level. So after August 15th, they might call him up. But Jazz is available off the bench, though, according to Aaron Boone. I want Jazz off this team. You and many others, man. You and many others. I understand. He could be so much better than what he is, and he's shown it. But I think a lot of times he's also his own worst enemy. But yeah, Jazz left the game with cramps yesterday. So, but he is available off the bench. Yeah, well, if Jazz is still on this team after the deadline, I mean, this is his last year. I don't really see a world where the Yankees sign this guy back. They offer him a contract. I think the Yankees go elsewhere. So, at least he's not, for those that don't like Jazz, at least he's he's done after the season. He's a free agent. But again, we'll see. We'll see what goes down, though, folks. We'll see what goes down. But Yankees have their series against the Cubs, and it's going to be a tough series. So hopefully the Yankees can win 2 out of 3. But it's going to be tough for them to. It's going to be a tough series again, and let's see what happens. And of course, the trade deadline is 3 days away. So I will be live on trade deadline day. I'll be live. I'll be live super early. So I plan on being live for all day for that one. So, and I'm going to try and call that game, the game that evening too. The Yankees have their series against the St. Louis Cardinals. And I believe they're back at the stadium after that, after their long road trip. So let's see what happens in today's game. Again, I'll be doing pre-games like this, right, for this series. So I won't be live for any of the play-by-play. So I'll at least still be live for the pre-games, and we'll do like we did today. I have not done a pre-game live stream in a long time, right? I used to do, as I talked about earlier in at the beginning of the live stream, I used to do the pregame live streams and the play-by-play live streams separately. But now this season I've been doing them together, so I decided to combine the two. But maybe I'll do I'll do pregame live streams like this from time to time. So I'll definitely do it for this series. Nathaniel says, I never liked him as a player, but I loved him as a person at the start of his Yankees career. Yeah, I was hoping, like I said, there's been times where he's shined, and then there's other times where he doesn't. There's just too much inconsistent with Jazz. Yeah, stinking up his market value. That's on him, Bill. Nathaniel says, I'd be confident about today if Warren wasn't on the mound. Yeah, Warren. Yeah, last 3 starts, man. I mean, his right now his ERA from his few starts, is at about a 5 ERA. So I understand the confidence level. Don't be surprised if Seattle moves the big dumper. They have a kid in AAA Tacoma that's killing it. Yeah, well, I'll pass on Cal Raleigh. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want him. But yeah, Raleigh took a dive this season. I don't know what happened to him. He went from an MVP candidate to bottom of the totem pole. But anyway, folks, I'm going to wrap it up here. The game's going to start in about the next half hour. So, go enjoy the game. Let's hope for a Yankees win. And I will be live tomorrow again, like this. Do another pregame. Hang out with all of you again and talk Cubs, Yankees, trade deadline, different trade ideas, different trade scenarios, so, we'll see. We'll see if the Yankees make any moves today or over the weekend, or all the moves going to go down on Monday on trade deadline day. But, we'll talk more about it. But everybody, happy Friday. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy the game today. Let's hope for a Yankees win. All right. And enjoy the weekend, right? Today's the last day of July. Tomorrow starts August. We're slowly getting towards the end of the baseball season. We're slowly getting towards the end of summer. So, well, let's enjoy it, right? Let's enjoy it, because there might not be a baseball season next year. So that's been on the back of my mind. But I appreciate everybody hanging out with me on this Friday. Go enjoy the game. Enjoy your Friday. Happy Friday. I'll see you all next time. As always, let's go Yankees. Thank you all again. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Hit that subscribe if you were new. All right. I appreciate it. Let's continue growing this channel. We're a little over 30 subscribers away from hitting that 3,000 number. So let's get to 3,000 subs. So we'll, once we hit 3,000 subs, we'll be doing 3 gift card giveaways, and there will be 3 lucky winners. So stay tuned for that. So, and real quick, Billo saying making stuff hatch chili peppers wrapped in bacon with a hot honey. Yeah, Billo's going to eat good. Awesome. All right, guys. All right, guys and gals, thank you all again. Have a great day. And as always, let's go Yankees. See you all next time.